So we're back at it for my favorite segments, the Q&A. And in this episode, I really dive deep into how to properly handle when your client tells you exactly what to treat, how to treat, and where to treat. You know, a big thing that I've been trying to coach and train and switch the mindset of massage therapists is being taken seriously as a healthcare provider and not just one of those service providers where the client thinks just because they're paying you money, they kind of get to tell you what to do, even though they have no knowledge or expertise in injuries or how to fix them. So I really dove in deep on this one, gave you some strategies of what to do when it happens in the moment, and then also what to do to keep it from ever happening again down the road. Gave some good nuggets about the idea of properly educating, communicating with your clients, and some more just deeper insights of your whole belief system in yourself as a massage therapist and the steps you need to take to be taken seriously as a healthcare provider. So brought some good energy and some good knowledge to the show. Hope you guys enjoy the show. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Soft Tissue Revolution podcast. Dr. Matt Maggio here, back at it for another Q&A episode. I think this is my 13th Q&A. So want to get right into it. This Q&A kind of came from a couple weeks ago when I was talking to one of my coaching clients, and the idea came up of the client was presenting with a lot of tightness in a certain area. We explained why this was happening, told my client why their client, a lot of clients going on there, was having this tightness, and gave the strategy, the testing, the treatment, the palpation, and functional tests to really figure out what's going on. But they said the problem was their client was only fixated on the area that was tight or was hurting. So the idea became, what do you do when the client tells you as the practitioner or the professional what to treat, where to treat, and exactly how to treat? So I didn't realize this was as big of a problem in the massage profession until I've really dove into some coaching with other clients, all over the country, and really diving in. Because essentially what I'm trying to do is I'm helping massage therapists really get their skills and knowledge and their communication buttoned up and tight, so they can be taken seriously as a healthcare provider. That's a big thing for me, being taken seriously as a healthcare provider. I know hands down that good quality soft tissue treatment is the best treatment modality out there, and it's the best in the world. But the problem is so many massage therapists are defaulted back to just for relaxation, non-essential service providers. And I'm really trying to change that stigma and that idea and really getting people able to be taken serious as a healthcare provider. But this happens a lot where the client comes in and they want to tell you how to do your job, how to treat. I had, I think it was 2 Q&As ago, was the idea of what to do when the client tells you need to go deeper. If you haven't listened to that one, go back. It kind of helps and give some context to all this and what I'm talking about. But this is at a deeper level. When somebody actually comes in and tells you exactly what to do and how to treat, it can really mess with you. It used to mess with me when I was first coming up as a practitioner. So the old me, the younger me, the wild buck, the not going to take shit from anybody, I used to take it really personal. I'd be like, man, fuck this guy, fuck this lady. Who are they to come in and tell me what to do? They're like an accountant, or they're like a lawyer, or they work at a bank. What makes them think that they know all these answers to these complex musculoskeletal injuries? Do they have no respect for me? And I learned a lot over the years. Sometimes I would jump back when I shouldn't have. Other times I let it go, but I learned a lot. And that's what I want to kind of share here. So there's 2 steps. One of those steps is what to do when it actually happens in the moment. And the other one is what to do to make sure it doesn't happen ever again. So let's just go what to do when it happens in the moment. Number 1 is don't take it personal. One of my favorite books of all time is The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. My Spanish is not very good, but it really talks about these agreements you make with yourself. And one of them is don't take things personal. We tend to do that. A lot of times when people say things like, I need you to treat this or do that, and they're trying to like put you into a subservient role, they think because they're paying you some sum of money that they can also control you and tell you what to do. Deep down inside, you can be like, man, fuck this person. This is bullshit. Who the hell are you to talk to me like that? And you can get really pissed off and you can get really angry. One thing that I've learned is that anger and getting pissed off in the moment doesn't get you anywhere. Do not take it personal. The person is not even realizing what they're doing. And the quicker you can move on from it and not take it personal, the quicker you can grow. Another thing I learned is that you need to address it right away. Especially if it's happening in the middle of the treatment. They're like, yeah, I'm having some tightness in my shoulder or my neck or my hamstring, and I need you to just really focus right there. You got to address it right away. One thing that I'm big on is just education and communication and explaining to the client what's going on. People that are trained in my method, in the room itself, we have anatomy posters up. We have whiteboards where we draw things and everything like that. So if the client's still like, yeah, I understand you're treating my so-and-so, but it hurts here. Why aren't you treating that area? It's because you haven't properly educated them. So properly take the time to slow down, educate them, show them in the moment why that's going on, why you know what you're doing, why you're an expert, and address it. Don't let it go. And don't just go like, whatever, I got an hour to kill with this asshole, so I'm just going to do what they want because it's not worth the argument, blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. Have more respect for yourself as a true practitioner and a true expert, and really just start asking like more questions for the client, like figuring out what's going on. We have a free training where we teach you 7 questions to ask the client to really figure out what's going on with their problem. So dive in there a little bit more. If they're like, yeah, my hamstring's tight, don't just jump right in and like start treating the hamstring. Start to figure out why. Ask questions. And when you actually are showing that person that you care, you're showing them that you are taking an interest in what's going on and you're really getting a chance to figure it out, you're going to be in a much better place and you're going to get a hell of a lot more respect. So in the moment, just to recap, do not take it personal. It doesn't get anywhere. They're not really trying to be an asshole. Some people are, but most people aren't. They're just kind of saying because that's what they think. Address the situation right away and ask lots of questions. So that's what to do in the moment. Don't get pissed off. Don't get angry. Trust me, I've been there before and it doesn't end well. And it's not good for you. It's not good for the client. And it just pisses everybody off. So what to do to make sure it doesn't happen again? One thing that I'm really getting better at in my older age, I'll be 36 this year. I've been in the profession for going on 11 years, 12 years. Shit, I'm getting old. Do an inner deeper dive on what you did wrong. You know, we tend to want to like blame the client and be like, oh, they're an asshole. They're entitled, blah, 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 blah. They don't respect me. Like, but slow down and really try to take some radical responsibility and think of like, what did I do wrong? Where did I miss the boat in this process? Did I not educate them correctly? Did I not explain what's going on? Did I just go through the motions? Like, what did I do? And really learn from that. You can really do some deep inner reflection when you sit down and be like, how is this my fault? And accepting radical responsibility for everything in life. And that is a very, very hard thing to do. But when you do it, it's going to make your situation in your life much better. Take some time to realize what's really out there in the internet. Think about this. I mean, I can't even go on Instagram or YouTube half the time. I call them like wannabe fake doctors. You see them all the time. They're like, oh, do this foam roll and do this stretch, jam a lacrosse ball here, do this, 5 steps to mobility, blah, 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 free shit all the time. I keep saying blah, 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 blah a lot today, but that's what it feels like. There's so many morons out there that are playing wannabe doctors on the internet and they're selling their bullshit program, at-home mobility for $29. You know what? The problem with the cheap solution is the solution itself, but think of what people are being inundated with. They go on Google and they type some stuff in and WebMD pops up or Dr. Google tells them what's wrong. People don't know. There's so many people out there giving bad advice, wrong advice, conflicting advice. You have to be a voice of reason, but understand like, yeah, they're asking those questions because there's morons out there that have a louder voice. So what should you do? Make your own content. Share what you do. Stick to it. Quit worrying about like what other people think. You're like, oh, it doesn't look right. The video isn't great. I sound like an idiot. Like, who cares? If you have a good message, you want to educate people, do it. Make content, stick to it. Share what you do. Dispel some of these myths and share with people how you can help and what's different. But you got to do it and you got to be consistent with it. You know, people start making content and they're like, oh, I don't like it, I'm not going to do it, screw it, blah, blah, blah. Then you let those other people, those other idiots, those Instagram fuckheads that I call them, you let them start to educate people. And then, of course, people are going to come in and be like, hey, I watched this video with a lacrosse ball. Like, why don't I just do that instead of coming in here and actually getting treatment? You missed the boat. There is a chance to educate people properly, but you have to be consistent and you have to make the content daily or at least a couple times a week and stick to it. And understand that you're going to be in a better place when you do it, but you have to make the commitment to want to share your knowledge and let people know how you can help. The next thing is just slowing down the process. I talked about this on my last podcast. I think the one before this, where I talked about two strategies. I think it was 2 or 3. I don't remember. It was 2 strategies that you can use to leverage COVID to make your business a better equipped for COVID, like doing before they come in consultations and also going down to quicker treatments. So this is what we teach in my method called the PEAK method. First thing is we always do is we qualify people first. We're not for everybody. So I always say kind of pick an area that you want to treat and be an expert in that. If you want to be the neck and shoulder expert in your area, or the low back and the hip, or the knee, or whatever, pick one of those things and be the expert in that area. Really niche down, because at the end of the day, people want to come to an expert instead of like worrying about whole body, because how in the hell are you going to learn the entire body? Like, that's just too much going on. Be the expert in your field and qualify people. The way that we train is that you got to have a neck, shoulder, or low back problem. You got to be dealing with that problem for at least 6 months, and you failed care with at least 2 other providers, a chiropractor, physical therapist, massage therapist, orthopedic surgeon. That puts you in a really good upper echelon of people that truly are going to buy into your program and do what you want. But you have to make that commitment. Don't take everybody that comes in. That's the problem. If you're for everybody, then you're for nobody. So getting that qualifying process. Next is once they qualify, do an injury consult. Get on the phone with them for 5 or 10 minutes before they come out. Even better, get on a Zoom call. You got plenty of time. Do a 5 or 10 minute Zoom call. Talk about what's going on. Ask them the questions that you need to know before they even come in. We have free training for that. Go into the show notes. Request it. It's there. I'm amazed at how many people don't actually take advantage of that. It's free. There's no strings attached. I'm not selling you anything. It'll just help you become a better practitioner and get taken seriously as that healthcare provider. And lastly, practice your communication. Half of the battle isn't the treatment. Your treatment's work. It's how you actually explain to people, how you're going to help them, how you're going to solve their problem, knowing that they truly understand what the process is and what you're going to do to help. You're becoming a true leader and a true expert in your field, and you know what you're doing. People want to come to people that have a clue of what's going on. If you're like, yeah, let's have you come in for a couple massages and kind of see how it goes. No, you don't have a plan. You need to have a plan. An attack plan tells people what to expect, what you're going to do, how you're going to fix them, and how they know they're going to go better. And that's what we teach in the PEAK method all the time. It's a little bit ahead of where everyone else is, but it really slows down and helps you educate and communicate properly, because that's the key. You have to keep educating throughout the process, not just in the exam, but throughout the treatments as you go. You have to continue to remind the client what's wrong, what they can do, what they can't do, how they know they're getting better, that treatment is working, that they made a good decision. You have to show them real objective data, and that's what we teach in the PEAK method. We don't get that shit of, oh, I need you to treat here and do this and be my servant. No, that's bullshit. You're a service provider when you do that, and you're better than that. Think about that. You went to school. You do the training. You're the expert, and you got some dickhead or whatever you want to call a female. They come in and they tell you how to do your job. They don't have respect for you, and that's your own damn fault, because you haven't taken the time to invest in learning how to fix people fully, communicating it effectively, and educating them. You know what? It's boring work, but it sets you apart from everyone else, and you finally get taken seriously as a healthcare provider, so you can fix people and they can avoid bigger problems, like getting nonsense adjustments at the chiropractor that doesn't work, going to physical therapy that they could just do from home, or even worse, pain pills, injections, or surgeries. You have to be taken seriously as a healthcare provider, but you have to understand that you got to do the work, put the effort in. And if you want to learn how to do that and you want to speed it up, send us a message. We're here to help. So I'm going to close this up. I see it every day on LinkedIn. People are leaving the profession left and right. I see all these like badges on their profiles, open to work, like, oh, COVID destroyed my business. I can't be a massage therapist anymore. There's plenty of opportunity out there, because at the end of the day, there's still people that are injured. They're still in pain. They need treatment, but you have to figure out a better way, a more quicker way, a more effective way. And to do that, you have to let go of your old ways and make the change now before it's too late, because there's going to be a big opportunity down the road to continue to fix people in a functional way. No more of that service, non-essential stuff. You're a true solutions provider. You own the room. People take you seriously as a healthcare provider, and you change not only their lives, not only your business, but your life, and you own it. You're going to be in a much better place. So that's all I got for today. I appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. If you haven't given the podcast a review, that would be great. I've never asked for them before, but apparently they're important to help with the metrics and stuff like that. If you leave a nice review, that would be great. If you want the free training, go in the show notes. And if you have any questions you want me to cover, send me a message. Always here to help. Hope you guys are doing awesome, and I will see you on the next one. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to the show. If you're a massage therapist and you want to learn more about our new methods that allow you to easily double your income without working any harder or getting burnout, we have some free resources for you. 1, join our Facebook group, The Soft Tissue Revolution. 2, subscribe to our YouTube channel. 3, request our free training series. 4, leave us a 5-star review and share this podcast with anyone else you know it can help. Links to all our channels and free training are in the show notes.